We got a brand new Patriots mock draft for you guys here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham. Mock draft 13.0. Probably get to at least 15 before the NFL draft, which is exciting. Let's see what we do with the number 3 overall pick. But before we get there, can you spread the word of this channel? Can you share this video on social media? All you have to do, if you're watching on your phone, a tablet, whatever, should be a little share button. It's got a little arrow on it, and then you can share it to Twitter. I think it's X on mobile. Facebook, I think Snapchat. You can text it to your friends. Spread the word. Tell them to subscribe. Let's get more people here on Patriots Today. We appreciate it. All right, round 1, pick number 3. We're going to go Jayden Daniels this time. And look, we told you guys on Tuesday's episode that but a lot of Jayden Daniels smoke out there. Does he not want to go to Washington at 2? Could he, maybe try to not force his way to New England at 3, but maybe the Commanders decide to go in a different direction? Obviously, this is a pro-Drake May channel, but we like Jayden Daniels as well, and he certainly would be a quality option, number 3 overall. Took that big leap in 2023 after a solid 2022 to put himself in this position to be a top 3, top 5 pick in the NFL draft. He also took his top 30 visit in Foxborough on Monday, so you've got that recent connection there as well. It'll be interesting. I think the draft after the number 1 pick is going to be very fascinating between Washington, New England, Vikings as a potential trade up, and a whole lot more. A lot of quarterback movement potentially at inside the top 10. And we'll see if New England's involved in that. We'll see if they stay put at 3. Where teams stay at 3 and take a quarterback, but a lot of rumors circulating out there. So Jayden Daniels, the selection at number 3. We're going to trade down from 34 with Carolina, drop 5 spots, pick up a 4th and a 5th, 101 and 142 overall, which, hey, move down 5 spots, get 2 extra selections. I'm down. How about Jordan Morgan, the offensive tackle out of Arizona? Really good offensive line class. You're going to see quality players fall to day 2. I think Morgan fits that mold. I think anywhere between 35 and 50 is proper range for him. Played well last year for the Wildcats. Gave up just a couple of sacks, just over 10 hurries throughout the whole season. So that's less than 1 per game. Only 4 penalties, so about 1 every 3 games. And look, you still got question marks. You need a left tackle. Morgan could fill that void. Obviously, he's a rookie. There's going to be some learning curve there. But you got a Okorafor who could be a guy that can fill in if needed, or it gives you some depth there. McDermott, same deal. Owen who's going to play on the right side. So New England obviously is in play for a quarterback. They need an offensive tackle. They need receiver help. So you check 2 of those boxes here in the first 2 picks of this mock draft. So what say you? Should the Patriots take a receiver or an offensive tackle in the 2nd round? Type OT for tackle or WR for wide receiver. Let us know which direction you would go in. All right, let's trade down again from 68 with the Chicago Bears. Pick up 75, 122, and a 5th in this trade. And oh yeah, baby, one of our favorites here on this channel, Javon Baker, 75 overall out of UCF. I think, early mid-round 3 to early round 4 is going to be the range for him. I think 3rd round's a sweet spot. I'm a big fan. He's one of the best contested catch guys in this draft. It was like 56% per PFF, which is very high. Big play machine overall. You look at his numbers last year, 22 yards per catch, and that's on pretty high volume of over 50 catches. Really, really good. Did have 6 drops, but not a crazy high number. He can go up and get it with the best of them in this draft. At times, struggles to separate, but again, a guy in round 3, I think pretty good value here. I don't know if he'll be a number 1 in the NFL, but to get him in the 3rd round, I think he can contribute right away. And why not double down? Jacob Cowing out of Arizona, different type of player. He's going to give you some more yak opportunities if you bring him in here. Obviously, familiarity playing with Jordan Morgan as well, so got a teammate bond there. And I would like to double up in this draft. I mean, you could even go 3 receivers if you want. Create some competition, create some depth, bring in some different types of receivers. Because right now, Kendrick Bourne's going to have a role. We think Demario Douglas probably will, but I like KJ Osborne. But is he a starter? Probably not. I think as a wide receiver 4 is like your top backup outside guy. I think that's a better fit. Jalen Reagor's more of a special teamer. to me, if you could replace Tyquan Thornton, that's cool too. Like, I don't think he should be like a guy feeling like he's for sure safe to make the roster. Same with Juju Smith-Schuster, Kayshon Boutte. Like, outside of the top 2 or 3 here, I mean, I think you got to get some competition in here at the very least, if not clear upgrades. Cowing, again, he's going to be, run some of those option routes, get him the ball in space underneath. Touchdown machine last year for Arizona, by the way, as well. Different type of receiver to Baker, so you can kind of mix and match the type of personnel you put out on the field. Don't miss out. Subscribe to the channel. We are your home for Patriots draft content leading up to the draft, during the draft, after the draft. We'll have some UDFA signings and potential targets as well. So subscribe today. Do not miss out with the latest Patriots draft coverage. All right, round 4, pick 103 here. Erick All, get another offensive weapon here. Get the theme, offense. Really good player, interesting player. He's had some injuries dating back to his days at Michigan, but when healthy, he's a good pass catcher. I mean, Iowa's offense is a joke, but you see when he got the football, he was able to do some things with it, had 3 touchdowns. I think it was, I want to say in 21 or 22, he was really emerging himself at Michigan, and then he got hurt, which he did have a couple of injuries in college, like I mentioned, but he really gives you some yards after the catch. He's big enough. He can block as well at 250. I think the Patriots still need that third tight end, and Erick All could come in, be that for a year, and then maybe elevate to tight end 2 in 2025. Prize Picks, the place to go for daily fantasy sports, as they are the largest DFS app in North America, the most used as well. And what's cool about Prize Picks Daily Fantasy, it's different every day. You're not locked into the same lineup and have limited choices to mix and match. No, it's fresh every day, different sports, different games, different opponents, different teams, all kinds of stuff. They give you stat projections. You take more or less, and if you hit, you are going to cash out. We got some season-long NFL predictions here, stat projections. I love the more on all 3 of these categories. Christian McCaffrey, rush yards, Patrick Mahomes, touchdown. Same with C.J. Stroud. Take the more, 10 to win 50 here, 20 to win 100, etc. 5 times your money on a standard 3-player entry like that one is, but you can win up to 100 times your entry right now, depending on the type of picks you make with Prize Picks. They have Demon Picks, which is harder stats to get more than, but if you do, you can make more money. They have Goblin Picks as well, which kind of lowers the stat projection, and it's easier to hit. Kind of a safer pick there. Obviously, less money involved, but lots of different options for you depending on how you want to approach it. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. Get a deposit match up to $100 today. Okay, one of my personal favorites, Mohamed Kamara, the edge out of Colorado State. I think this is prime real estate for him. Early day 3, get him in the 4th round. Not the prototypical size of an NFL edge rusher. He's like 6'1", 240, but man, he can go. 64 pressures in 12 games last year, 13 sacks. I watched this dude against Colorado, and I get it. Over the season, we found out that the Buffs' offensive line was a major problem, but he controlled the game. I mean, Colorado State was in control of that game and should have won it, and he was a big reason why, because he was unblockable and was after Shedeur Sanders for 4 quarters and in overtime, and that carried out throughout the season. He's been good for 2 years. I think as a situational pass rusher, he can have a very good career in the NFL. Josh Newton, the corner out of TCU, who coming into this season was a potential first-round pick, didn't really have that big year that people thought he would. He's also a little bit undersized, but good ball skills. He was a big part of their national championship runner-up team 2 years ago. He's got that dog in him. I still think he can play in the NFL. I think he's a backup at first. And look, the Patriots need that CB4 type. He can play nickel. He can play outside. Bring him in here into their system. Maybe he's a backup for a year and develops into a starter. I think he's got that potential in the National Football League. Cornelius Johnson, who, he didn't put up huge numbers at Michigan, but when he got opportunities, the guy just made plays. I mean, I remember the Ohio State game 2 years ago where he got loose in the secondary. He went nuts. I think he had like 150 yards, a couple of big, long touchdowns in that game. Past year only had 1 touchdown the entire season. Did have 600 yards, though. Big frame, pretty good athlete as well. I think he's a guy that you bring in to compete with a guy like Tyquan Thornton. Maybe he beats him out and pushes Thornton off this roster. All right, a little rapid fire here to wrap up this mock draft. Jalen Simpson, the safety out of Auburn. Add another DB there on the back end. Hunter Norzad's an interesting one. Brandon Thorne, if you know that name, he does a lot of offensive line film study and evaluation. You should go follow him on Twitter. He thinks Norzad could be a starting center in this league. So if you get him in the 6th round, you develop him for a year or two, maybe he's a starter down the line, at worst a backup. I like that value. And then Trent Jones out of Michigan, get another trenches player there. It's round 7. There's really no harm regardless of who you take there. He wraps up this mock draft. All right. Grade Patriots mock draft 13.0. Drop an A, B, C, D, or F. Pluses and minuses are encouraged. Let us know how you did. If you can't remember all the picks, wait until we cycle back through here, then drop your letter grade. Jayden Daniels in round 1. Trade down a few spots for Jordan Morgan, the tackle out of Arizona. Trade down again for Javon Baker out of UCF. Get Jacob Cowing, another receiver out of Arizona. Erick All, the tight end out of Iowa. Mo Kamara, the edge out of Colorado State. Josh Newton, the TCU corner. Round 5, Cornelius Johnson, the receiver out of Michigan. 3rd receiver in this draft. Auburn safety Jalen Simpson in the 6th. Penn State offensive lineman Hunter Norzad in the 6th. And then Trent Jones, 7th round offensive lineman out of Michigan. There you have it. A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know how we did. We will continue to pump out content here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. So subscribe, and we'll see you soon.